So, good people, this is where we are right now. We are now in the tent. As you can see, we had us a little stroke of bad luck. I made a mistake and cut my melon plants. Did not intend on doing that. So I had to get rid of it because it was growing all stringy looking, and that is just not a healthy plant. So what we're going to do, this is the Socrates, and let me tell you something. This is a wonderful plant, but we'll get to that later. This is the tomato plant that I transplanted in one of my last videos. As you can see, it is growing something amazingly. But we're going to transplant this one more time because I want to put it in a bigger container. And again, you can use anything that you have at home in order to do this. And just a last look here, just so you can take a seat. That is my tomato plant. How wonderful is that looking? I mean, the tomatoes are absolutely wonderful. Look at how nice and green they are. They're coming in so much. They're all throughout the plant. This is just amazing. So let me take you over to the kitchen and let me show you what else happened. So here's the pea plant. I cannot begin to tell you what happened here. This thing was beautiful and then it wasn't. And as you can see, it did not fare well. I am going to have to get rid of all of these peas and actually replant them. Take a gander at this one. Just completely dried out. I don't even understand how that happened. And just so you know, the roots are absolutely fabulous. Look at this. Nice white roots. The water is clear and nice and clean. I do not know what happened, but unfortunately, I am going to have to get rid of them because to me, this is just not a healthy looking plant. Now, I also repotted my melon seeds. These are from the melons that, I mean, not from the melons I cut. These are the same type of melons that I cut. So these are little seedlings, and I'm going to go ahead and actually keep them in the green thingies here, the seedling trays. I'm going to take them out of the black ones just so that they can sit in water and the roots won't dry up. Over here, I have an additional pea plant, actually two of them. I literally just planted these. So this one has a baby one on it, as you can see. Here's a better view. There's a baby one on it. So let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do some changes here and take you along with me. One moment. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to get my tomato plant. That plant is growing very nicely. It does have a couple of dry leaves on it, but I'm going to transplant it into something bigger. Remember I told you that you can use anything to grow hydroponically. So give me a second. So what I got here is my tomato plant. So this plant was the plant that I had in the closet there. I had it covered in aluminum foil because you don't want any light going into the container because of the algae, and it can get bacteria and different things like that. So what I did was I had this covered up, and just so you can see, look at how pretty that is. That's nice and clear for plants, of course. You wouldn't drink this. But it had the nutrients in it. It has the roots in it. The roots are nice and white. As you can see, there's no algae anywhere. You don't see any green algae. The plant is growing very nicely. I am going to go ahead and transplant this into something a lot bigger. So let me get this here. I picked this up today at Burlington's. This is a 1 gallon water bottle. Let's move everything out of the way here before I make a mess of everything. So this is a 1 gallon water bottle. This here hydrates your soul, but right now it's going towards plants. And what we're going to do is transplant the tomato plant into this. It's 1 gallon, so this will give this plenty of water. Now, this method is called the crack key method. And crack key basically is the method where you don't have any pumps or anything. You just need your lights and so on and the warmth of the tent. And basically it'll grow your plants just like that. That happened with my peas. I got some peas from my pea plants. But after that, I honestly do not know what happened there. So this is just going to be a cleanup job at this time. But with the tomato plant, I'm going to go ahead and take this little net cup out and put it in here. First, I'm going to fill this up with some water and some nutrients, and we're going to get that going. Then we're just going to go ahead and transplant some of the other plants I got here so that I can make sure everything's getting nice and watered, nothing dries out. Unfortunately, these are a loss. It happens. I lost my watermelon plants, and that hurt pretty bad. But we're going to go ahead and get some new watermelon plants in, and hopefully get some more fruit growing. Why everybody can't buy fruit, all the fruit they want at the grocery store, I'm going to still be able to have watermelon all throughout the winter. So yay me. Anyway, let me get this filled up with some water. So what I did was go ahead and get water put in here. I did not fill it all the way to the top, and the reason being is you need air when you have roots in order for your plant to breathe. In this case here, I filled it up till about here. Okay, I hope everybody can see that. I left this probably, what is that, like 3.5 inches of no water in the cup here. So this here is, the mouth of this is a little bit smaller than this one. I could probably use better my other net cups, but we're going to just use this one since it has the hooks on the side. What I'm going to do is take these out. Take a look at those roots. Look at how nice and white and pretty those roots are. That is like amazing. That is what you want, and that's how you know your plant is healthy. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and stick these in here. Make sure no roots are getting caught up on the sides. See how the roots just go right into the water there? Just like that. And what I'm going to do is take this, and these perfectly fit right. The little hook arms fit perfect. I couldn't have worked this out better than if I actually would have thought about it. This was just a game plan. So what I'm doing right now is taking off some of these dead looking plants here. Now, these are 2 tomato plants, by the way, and they're in 2 separate Rockwell cubes. So it'll be easy for me to separate them as they get a little bigger, but I didn't want to do anything with these just yet, only because of the fact that they're still kind of like babies, so I want to leave them as it is right now. But as you can see the water. Look at the roots, nice and white, just sitting in the water. I am going to get some nutrients. Actually, I should have put that in beforehand, but 1 second. I have a little bit of a remaining of the Aerogarden. Let me do this over the sink before I make a complete mess of things here. So what I have right now is I put this in the sink because I know me, I will end up spilling this everywhere. So I'm going to take this out. See what I mean? I'm going to take this out. And I should have done this ahead of time before doing everything else. I'm just going to set that in there momentarily. Just sitting right inside another net cup. I'm going to pour some nutrients in here. And it looks a little milky because I just shook it up. That's why. But this is the Aerogarden liquid plant food. Since I'm a garden newbie, I chose to use this because it's already mixed, and all you're doing is mixing it based upon what type of plant system that you have. So I'm just poured some nutrients in there. I am going to get, let's see what I got here. I need something long to go in there. And I'm just going to stir this around. Yes, I know it's a spatula. It isn't pretty, but I don't have anything else. So that's that. And there you have it. I just mixed some nutrients. Now, mind you, these are nutrients that I've been used to using. Again, you want to use the nutrients based upon what it is you're growing. So even if you're not growing pods, you see where it says use with other plants. You have house plants and outdoor plants. And it says 2 milliliters per gallon for weekly watering. So I kind of use the 2 milliliters right now for this because this is a 1 gallon container. And basically I'm just going with that. And I kind of got the measurement already because I've been using, different size bins already to grow some plants. So for this here, if you got 1 gallon, you want to use 2 milliliters. 2 gallons, you want to use 4 milliliters. If you got pods, you can use the pods based upon what it says here. You can get this from Amazon. It comes in this size. It has smaller sizes available. I chose the big one just so I wouldn't have to rebuy this over and over and over again. So just a little food for thought there. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my tomato plant and go ahead and put it back in here in order to make sure that everything is all set. As you can see, these little arms, again, I got these net cups with the arms on Amazon as well. You could use these type of net cups. You could use these kind also that don't have the arms. You can just set it in. These actually fit into this, but of course I wasn't using this initially. I was using this, and this did not fit in here at all, as you could see. So depending on the size container you use, you can get net cups at different sizes. So, and this one is like, this is 3-inch, and that net cup is about 2 1/4, 2 3/4, but it came with the arm, so I thought it was a great solution depending on what type of system or what type of cup hold that I needed in order to set that in. So with that, we are pretty much done with this. The only thing I might do is simply, let's see, what we're going to do actually, because we want to make sure no light gets in here. I got a dark tank or a dark bottle on purpose because it limits the light that goes in there. Now, this is the part that's going to be the experiment, okay? So hear me out. What I'm going to do is let it sit in here without wrapping this in foil. Now, I know it's a little see-through, but it's not fully see-through, and it's dark. If I see any algae growing or so on, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it like this, and if no algae grows, it's wonderful. If it does start growing, I'm going to take the plant out, wash it out, and then just cover the whole thing in foil. What I am going to do here, though, I'll wrap this thing up pretty tight. I don't understand that. Where's the strength coming from? All right, so what I'm going to do here with this piece of foil is literally drape it around the top. And yes, everyone, I have a new grandbaby. So I was mommy and now I'm a grandmom. I am excited. I love her to death. She is beautiful. My daughter's name is Imani and my granddaughter's name is Melon. And I am utterly ecstatic. She is just such a beautiful little girl. And I have a beautiful little girl. And just beautiful women running my family. So that's, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But hey, you know, hey, there's some good looking women in my family. So anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to take this. It's a little crash, a little, you know, not very pretty. But I just want to drape it around the top. This will help keep any light from getting in on the sides. So that is why I'm doing this. And this way, what happens is the focus of the light will be the plant and not it's going inside the cup, because since the cup doesn't fit completely around, I don't want water going in on the sides there. I'm just dipping these sides back so they don't cut the stems. But that, my friends, is how I'm transplanting my tomatoes right now. And we're going to see in a couple days if this works or if I'm going to have to cover this in some foil. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get some water in these seedling trays to make sure that these guys are going to be growing like they need to grow. So right now there's no water in it because I was just doing seedlings. So the only thing that needed to be wet was the rock wool. Because I now have these guys here and I don't want the roots to go dry, I'm going to put them back in here. So let me show you. There are little roots here. I probably took these out prematurely. So, and these are my melon and my, pea seedlings. So I'm going to stick these in just like this and just do it carefully. That's one melon. And as you can see, as I'm doing this, you can see the little roots already on the bottom there. Reason why I'm doing this is because I want them to still grow, but they need water. So I was hoping I was going to not have to get into that, because I thought I was going to be able to go from here to the 3.5 gallon tanks, but that's not happening. So what I'm going to do is put some water in here and fill it up to a certain point so that this sits in it. So let me do that now. Okay, so what I've done is put some water in here. Now, just so you know, these seedling trays you can buy at Amazon. They're wonderful. They're great for seed starting and so on. Even if you just want to just put plugs in the bottom of it, doesn't matter. You do not need necessarily to put nutrients in there when you're starting off your seedlings. seedlings kind of grow on their own. They don't need anything. Pretty much everything that they need comes right out of the seed. I just pulled that seed off because it was taking a minute for it to open. You can just pull it right off as long as you don't tear your plant. If you tear your plant, you got to start all over again because it's probably not going to grow. So this was already ready to go. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, let me bring you in a little bit closer. So as you can see, I've got water in here. I did put just a hint of nutrients only because the plants are already starting on their way out. I did not fill it up. As you can see, there's about 1 inch around the rim. And the reason is because when you look at the seedlings here, there's still about 1 inch. Let me turn these around so you can have a better look here. There's still about 1 inch or so at the bottom. And you see the roots right there at the bottom. You do not want to drown your plant. When you put it too close, then it ends up drowning your plant. So all I'm going to do is put this in here just like that. You'll see the water rise and come right through the bottom of the hose, just like that. And there you have it. You just transplanted your seedlings into something that they can sit in for a little bit longer as they grow and get a little more established. Established, I should say. Sorry, I've been talking a lot today. So hopefully these will go ahead, grow, get some more roots. They'll dry out a little bit in regards to the tray, only because it's open now. You're not having to leave it closed. Because as soon as you start seeing seedlings coming out, you want to remove the cover. I had this particular cover on the top of it, and you don't need it anymore because basically the plant is going to end up either pushing it off or the plant will end up rotting, believe it or not. So I'm going to leave this just like this and set it right inside the tent in order for it to go ahead and just basically start growing. So what I'm doing now is going ahead and bringing this on into the tent along with the tomato seedlings that I just or tomato flower I should say I just replanted. And as you can see, they will both sit right there as they get a little bit older. Now if you remember, I had a big old watermelon little plant, and unfortunately that had to go to the wayside because I cut it by mistake. It happens. It's my error. I was trying to prune and move things and I cut the wrong thing. Just be careful when you're in your tent and you're trying to clean up, because when you're trying to clean up and you're going through and you're taking away dead leaves or anything that would be inside of your plant, be careful that you don't cut the main plant or any major stems or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I got to come in here and actually do some pruning myself for this plant, because as you can see, we got us another cucumber. And I just harvested one just the other day. But anyway, this isn't about the cucumbers. Anyway, those are the seedlings that are now transplanted for tomatoes, watermelons, and peas. I will check back with you guys soon as I get this going, and making sure that this stuff is actually growing like it should, especially where I'm going to leave that right there in that dark bottle there, and ensure that we do not get any algae growth in there. So I hope today's content has been enjoyable. I hope I was able to give you a little idea on how to transplant some seedlings, regardless of what they are, especially ones that you already have some major roots growing on, and putting them in something that you have around the house possibly that you can transplant in. With the crack key method, which requires no pumps or anything, you can grow in just about anything as long as you keep it clean and clear from any light getting inside of the container that you're using. So I hope you liked the content today. If you did, please like and subscribe. I am trying to grow YouTuber, and I would love and appreciate the love coming from you guys and any tips that you might have as well. So you all be safe out there. Take care of yourself. Be kind to each other. Take care.